You know what? They issue you a new social security card, a new state ID,
What?
not your birth
No.
certificate because that's not the last name you were born with.
We have one Republican senator that's a holdout on this, and it's John Thune. And if I had him here in this room, the things I would say to him, what an idiot.
I can still vote, you
What?
know?
No,
Shocker, I know,
no.
right?
From sea to shining sea, we stand tall. Stars and skies forever call. Eagles soar over mountains high. Liberty's light in the endless sky. Oh, America, hear the cry. Pioneers' fire will never die. Flame on the west, burning bold and free. The flame of love, you and me.
Okay, now let's let's get to something that's popular amongst the people, but not popular amongst our elected officials. The Save America Act. You hear me? I talk about it. I talked about it last week. We have people like Glenn Beck who've been talking about it quite a bit. He had um, Chip Roy on his show today talking about it,
Is
and
this what shut the government down again?
no, this was actually um, there was a spending bill for the Department of Homeland Security that shut the government down, and these Democrats were wanted to stop that because they wanted to stop funding for ICE. Well, this DHS ICE is already funded. They're fully funded. So stopping this funding only goes to things like your TSA agents, your traffic controllers,
Yeah.
the Coast Guard. So it's like they wanted to try to, we're going to stick it to ICE. We're going to shut them down. But they stopped the funding it's not even for that. They're stopping funding for things that, obviously it's
Need
all
funding
important.
for
Everything's great,
operations.
but these are big. This is a big deal. I mean, we're going to start seeing again. People at TSA are going to start going without pay. How can I just can't fathom? Oh, the Democrats can't figure it out. So, everybody else you're just gonna have to work without pay. What? I've never heard of.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean, it's
they're
always
acting like kids.
happened, but it's just it never ceases to amaze me. What? What?
They're acting like kids.
It is. It's childish. It's
Yeah.
so childish, and it's irritating.
I get it. I seriously get it.
Yeah,
And
you
it's
just
kind of
wish
funny.
you just wish you could grab some of these senators and just smack 'em.
It's kind of funny because like they're acting like children. Here comes Trump, who's seriously putting his foot down like a dad,
Yeah,
and he's like, "I don't care who started it. I'm finishing it."
yeah,
And
yeah, and they need that big time.
yeah, and they're like throwing hissy fits over it.
It's great. I love it. Okay, so the SAVE Act. So, I just read something from Senator Mike Lee, who's kind of spearheading a lot of this, that we now have 50 senators who are co-sponsors to this bill. It's in a normal day, if this was another bill I would be jumping up and down. But this bill happens to have like 81% average approval rating amongst Americans, 95% Republicans, and 80% Democrats. You got 78% of African Americans. You've got Hispanics that it's just up in the 70% approval for. So my question is, what in the actual crap is going on with these senators? You what your constituents clearly want this. Why are they pushing so hard against it? It is one of the highest approval rated from the public bills going through Senate and Congress ever. Why are they pushing so hard against it? So then you have to dive in and look at what the bill says. Well, the Save America Act, like I've covered a couple times here before, and I'm sure you've read and seen elsewhere, but it is basically, for lack of better words, a safeguard against or towards, I should say, towards our elections. It is a bill that would require identification to vote, proof that you're an American citizen to vote. Now
You just said it. That's why they're
that
pushing hard on it.
yeah, that doesn't sound, to a normal person, it doesn't sound like a radical idea. Well,
Nope.
yeah, I mean, why should anybody else vote in America? They're American elections. I mean, I'm not going over to um, to Iran to vote in their election. I wouldn't go over to Iran right now anyways, but that's just an example. I mean, I'm not going over there to vote in their elections because I'm not from there. They wouldn't let me. So why do we have such a problem with letting non-Americans vote in our elections? Just stew on that for a little bit, folks. We have one Republican senator that's a holdout on this, and it's John Thune. And if I had him here in this room, the things I would say to him, what an idiot.
You look so mad right now. Oh
What
my
a
goodness.
moron. And I shouldn't say that on the air, but gosh dang it, Senator, what is your problem? Can you explain, please explain to the American people your and don't give me this Jim Crow 2.0 crap. I want something legit, hard proof, because everything the Democrats have come out with has been debunked over and over and over again. You got freaking Chuck U. Schumer out there saying it's Jim Crow 2.0. What do you think? You think African Americans can't get an ID to vote? How racist is that? I mean, come on. And then, women, when they get, when they get married and they might not have their license changed so they can't vote. Okay, so you're saying that women have no clue how to change their ID.
Can I say something as a woman?
Sure. Let's hear this. This is good. This is our folks, this is our official
Female.
female criticizer.
Yes.
She's also the official hillbilly criticizer on the podcast, but that's another topic that we can get into if needed. But Go ahead, Madam Producer. Let's stun the audience. Let's hear it.
Okay. So I am married and I had to change my last name. And you know what? I can still vote, you
What?
know.
No.
Shocker, I know,
No.
right? I can
What?
still vote even though I got married and changed my last name.
Oh, you have to be
Oh
doing it
my
wrong. It has to be
goodness,
illegal.
how dare I?
You knew how to change your name on there?
Yes.
Oh, so so it can be done.
There's a procedure.
What? They have a
There's a
procedure for this?
exactly.
Well, they said 67 million women won't be able to vote. What? They have procedures? So
Well,
you were just kindly telling the audience that somehow miraculously you have changed your name on your identification? I mean, was this
yes.
successful or did you like write it in with a Sharpie?
Oh, no, I didn't have to use a Sharpie, but
No? Okay.
there are forms you have to fill out, like you have to contact the IRS, which you can
Ooh,
conveniently
the
go to their
IRS.
website, irs.gov, and you can request a name change. You also request
What?
it through Social Security, which you have to go to the Social Security office and bring your Social Security card and your state ID. And I think your birth certificate too, if you were born here in the United States. And you fill out the forms they ask you to fill out. You tell them your new last name, and then, you know what? They issue you a new Social Security card, a new state ID,
What?
not your birth
No.
certificate because that's not the last name you were born with.
Correct. And that's a common misconception. I've been hearing that more and more, and it really irritates me because that is a blatant lie to the American people. Now, I suppose you could say that some of these people, coming out on CNN and MSNBC and all of this garbage are just don't know. But, let's be honest. It's one thing if you and I don't know because we're just nobodies on a webcam. But if you're going on CNN, MSNBC, you know, any of the big ones, you better do your homework before you look. And I get so irritated by hearing that. So 67 million Americans won't 67 million women won't be able to vote in this coming election because their driver's license and their marriage certificate doesn't match their birth certificate. Well, no crap. What a blatant lie because you don't change your birth
Exactly.
certificate.
No, you don't, because that's not the last name you were born with.
Correct.
The only thing that changes is your Social Security card and your state ID. That's it. And you change your last name with everybody else, your job, all that stuff. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Please
Yeah,
hold.
it was it was a weird deal. Anywho, okay, so I left off talking about the wonderful Jim Crow 2.0, because it's going to disenfranchise 67 million women to vote. And our lovely producer was just explaining to us, shockingly, how she was able to change her ID. I didn't even think it was possible.
And I can still vote.
And you can still vote. It's just
Yes.
it's remarkable. You have the Democrats telling us that no, 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 you can't. Nobody's going to know what to do. Oh. And then you have people like uh, Jasmine Flippin Crockett. She's out there. They're going to have to Xerox. And oh no, that was Kamala Harris, not Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett's crazy too, but Kamala Harris is like, and they're gonna have to photocopy their ID and send it. What? Who said that? Who said that? That's not in the bill. These
Okay,
these
so
people make up crap.
can I say something about that?
Yes,
In
please.
order to change your ID, you do have to go in person to do that at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. And to change your name, your last name if you get married on your Social Security card, you have to physically go to the Social Security office in your local area and take the appropriate documents of identification to change your last name. If you got married, you have to take a copy of the marriage certificate with you to change your last name. To prove this, yes, you did get married.
Now there is, and I did hear Mike Lee was just saying yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, that there will be a provision. Let's say you get married the day before election day. Okay. There will be a provision that if you bring your identification, your ID, to the polling place, if you bring your marriage license, they will be able to allow you to vote because you are bringing proof that you are still that same person. Now, if you get married the day before election day, I'd be shocked if you've already changed your voting status. So you may not need that. But regardless, you should still take all of that. So those are provisions inside this act. It's not telling you, "Oh, you got married, so sorry."
No, I think when you get married, it's almost like re-registering to vote after you get married.
I wonder how it knows. There's got to be a way. It's one of the departments I'm sure that you go to, whether it be the Social Security Administration or the BMV.
I think it's the BMV. I think they notify the registration.
Or when you apply for your marriage certificate. I didn't think about that.
Oh, I didn't think about that
Somewhere in there,
either.
maybe it's somewhere in there.
I
There's
think it's when
probably a
you. I think it's when you get a new state ID. They will update your
updated.
like
Yeah,
voting status,
yeah.
and
But
it's almost
even
like they re-register you to vote.
right. So even though you may not have all of that complete, if you just take your marriage certificate with you, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
the whole thing, the Democrats are uh, it's they are trying so hard to get the American people to not be in favor of this, but they are. I'm surprised the people aren't screaming. These politicians, especially on the left, their their office should be solid phone calls. The phone should never stop ringing. People should be screaming, "What's wrong with you?" But they're worried they're gonna lose the votes because the people voting for them, especially in places like California, New York, Minnesota, it's the people that aren't supposed to be here. They were just getting, there, and it's like Minnesota. Old Timmy, Governor Timmy Walz, he signed a bill. IDs for everybody. It's great. You get an ID and you get an ID. I don't care if you're a citizen or not. Everybody gets an ID. California, everybody gets an ID. So if everybody's got an ID, you can all go to vote, right?
Uh,
But in California and Minnesota, you don't have to ask for an ID, so it really doesn't matter. Who cares? But see, this is scary. You are rigging this. There's no other word for it but rigging. You are purposefully influxing a group of people, a large group of people, tens of millions of people. You're pumping into the United States in order for votes. Uh, that's going to change the outcome of any election. If you bring these people in here, you bribe them, you pay them, we'll put you on welfare, we'll put you on all this kind of stuff. It'll be great. Just vote blue for the rest of your life. "Oh, okay." Or in most of those cases, it'd be, yeah, sí, bueno.
I take issue with the fact that they don't make them learn the language that is spoken in this country.
Oh yeah, don't even get me started on that. That's a whole nother. You go over to somewhere like Spain, France,
Sweden.
Italy, Sweden. I mean, yeah, a lot of those places they know English too because the rest of the world is fairly more versed in multiple languages than we are. But that's a side note. But you don't go over there and go, ah, you need to speak English because of me. You don't
No,
do
isn't
that.
isn't there a country when you want to live in their country, you have to adapt?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have
There's a
to
lot of
learn the
countries like that.
language.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to learn the language, you have to adapt. You have to obey their laws.
Yeah, that's how it works. Anytime you go to another country, you have to obey their laws.
Yes.
You don't get to just you don't have a I'm a US citizen, so I can do whatever. No, you're not a diplomat.
No, that's not a get out of jail free
Yeah,
card.
it's not a it's just being an American citizen isn't a get out of jail free card.
You know, there's a video of Arnold Schwarzenegger doing an interview, and he's talking about, immigrants in the country, and he says, "When you are in this country of the United States, you are a guest.
Yeah,
And if you're a guest, you have to behave and abide by the rules of the house
yeah,
and be polite and all that other stuff." And I really appreciate him saying that because he said that, when he came over to this country, he did everything the legal way to be in this country.
yeah, and that's what we want. We got our lovely first lady of the United States. She was an immigrant. She
Yeah.
came in the right way. I was just listening to Dan Bongino yesterday talking about his wife. His wife was an immigrant. She came in the right way, and there's plenty of great, wonderful stories of people coming the right way, and that's the way it
Yeah.
should be,
Yeah, and
and
those people that came over here the right way are complaining about these illegal immigrants and being handed all this stuff because it's like a slap in their face.
yeah, yeah, all of these you get people just walking across the southern border, and they're getting, here's a debit card, here's lodging, here's all
Yeah.
of this, here's a plane ticket,
Mhm.
here's a bus trip, and the people that came over here the right way, they get the shaft.
Yeah.
And not don't even mention all the rest of us.
Yeah. It's
And that
unfair.
kind of goes into line with what I was saying earlier about Marco. Marco talking about, um, revoking visas.
Yeah.
I just read earlier that, the State Department's revoked 100,000 visas in the first year of Trump's term because
Oh
of
my
things like, people coming over here, if they're caught protesting, violent protests, anything like that. Um, they they kick them out, anything crazy like that, kick them out. So, yeah, you don't come over you're a guest, especially when you're on a visa program. So you don't come over here and screw everything up. Um, okay, so got a tad sidetracked there on the SAVE Act. So, I'm gonna play you a clip from the, the wonderful Jake Tapper and the um, amazing Chuck U. Schumer, um, talking about how this is Jim Crow 2.0, man. They are here to get you.
About 83% of the American people, including majority Democrats, support voter ID laws.
Well, yeah, the voter ID laws that first, each state can have its own voter ID laws, and some do and some don't. But secondly, what they are proposing in this so-called SAVE Act is like Jim Crow 2.0. They make it so hard to get any kind of voter ID that more than 20 million legitimate people, mainly poorer people and people of color, will not be able to vote under this law. We will not let it pass in the Senate. We are fighting it tooth and nail. It's an outrageous proposal that is, that shows the sort of political bias of the MAGA right. They don't want poor people to vote. They don't want people of color to vote because they often don't vote for them.
Yeah. Notice how he doesn't even answer the main question that Jake spit out to him, which I thought was as much as I don't like Jake Tapper, I thought was a decent question. 80 some percent of Democrats support this. So what are you saying? And then he just, it's Jim Crow 2.0. That's darn MAGA. Those darn MAGA.
And very typical that he doesn't answer the question, which is very typical of a Democrat.
They know this is, they want to kill this so bad because they know that they're not going to be able, this is going to hurt their chances in November. This is going to hurt their chances for 28. And they're concerned about 26, but they are scared to death about 2028. If we get this passed, if this is law, now Trump has come out and said that if this doesn't pass, that he will sign an executive order. I'm not sure if he can. I don't know how that's going to look. But even if he does, that's only for 3 years. Once he's out, it's gone. Because the next if the next president, especially if they're liberal, that's going to be the first thing they cut. So we can't. I mean, yes, if we have to do it to save our republic, then by all means do an executive order. But we have to do things legal. Once it's binding. This is it. And then you have to have a law to undo it. We've got the former governor of North Carolina deleted a post off of Twitter in support of voter ID laws from about 10 years ago. Former Democrat, I should say Democrat governor. So no, we don't want you to see that. Don't want you to see that. We've got a Democrat senator, John Ossoff, was found out that using rallies, and he was requiring every person to show an ID to get into his rally.
That's so ironic.
Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, so just going through my notes here, folks. Trump declared, he said that we're going to have voter ID in place for the midterm elections here come November, whether it be through the SAVE Act, the proper channel, or if we have to go extreme to an executive order. So like I said, I don't know how that's going to look. I hope that will be okay, be legal. I mean, they're going to fight that. If he does an executive order, they're going to fight that tooth and nail. They're going to send that to the courts. They're going to scream from every rooftop.
They'll try to impeach him over it.
Oh, yeah. If they gain power, it's over. They're going to impeach him anyways.
Yeah.
Which is why we can't let this happen.